Hello. Welcome. Thanks for coming by and sharing in this message today. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate sharing this space together. I think it contributes to good energy being spread, contributes to both of our happiness, yours, mine, and so on and so on. So thanks a lot for being here. Welcome to Zenful Conversations. We're here in this community every single day. We are in our 6th year of these daily conversations, which have been remarkable. And being that I have been here every day having a conversation for 6 years now. Well, we're in our 6th year, so 5+ years now, 5.5 years now. Some days you feel like it, some days you don't, right? But when we show up for ourselves, even when we don't feel like it, it does something. This showing up for ourselves, this consistency. So it's what the practice allows us to become. And I know that I wouldn't be the same person without this practice. So I truly thank you for being here and sharing this space. This year, our conversation, we're talking about being present for our own lives, and it just makes sense. We've had some conversations along the way. The first one we did was we went with the day book Journey to the Heart by Melody Beattie was our first book, our first conversation. And then our second book, our second conversation was A Mindful Year by Dr. Arya Campbell Danish and Dr. Seth J. Gillihan. 2 licensed doctors shared that message that year with us, which was wonderful. We've had both of them on for conversation, and it was nice. That year was COVID, and the message was rather handy that year, the mindful year. And then 2021, we had our conversation was titled Living the Law of Attraction. So we had lots of different books that year that we pulled from, such a big wide field, this law of attraction and living the law of attraction and our vibration, and so much we covered in that year, so much. And I think we realized self-discipline was an important message to cover. So the following year, 2022, we had a year of self-discipline. It was a strong conversation to have, but I think it did us good. I really do. I think it went a long way with our relationship with that self-discipline there. And then last year, 2023, we did self-care on a deeper level. We did Thriving as an Empath by Dr. Judith Orloff. And Dr. Judith Orloff, it's ways to care about yourself so you don't get drained from different energy. Source energy is transferable, and it's important to learn to care for ourselves and nurture ourselves. And that was a very good conversation last year. And then now here we are this year. The book that we're following is the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. And we're talking about being present for our own lives. So to me, this really tops all of the conversations and puts it flat in our face. What does this mean to you? Being present to your own life. What does it mean? We've been having conversations for a heck of a long time. Are they doing us any good? What does being present to your own life mean to you? And hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have a better handle on this being present thing and embracing our presence in our days, embracing my presence, letting my whole mind, body, everything be with what I'm doing instead of thinking about the office when I'm at home, and when I'm at home, thinking about the office. We go back to the Bronnie Ware's book, the Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And I'm just going to go over those. Bronnie Ware, Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. This was an international best-selling book as well. And I'm just going to go over those top 5 regrets to remind us, because to me, I have been, since we stumbled across this book, a little bit stumbled by what the regrets are. And what I find very interesting is that each one of these, we can do something today. So this is not one of our regrets. But this is why being present to our life is so important, because from what I'm seeing is people are like, well, how did I get here? I don't even know where my life went half the time. And if we say by the end of the day, I don't even know where today went or where'd this week go, it's going to be more of the same if we're fortunate enough to have the opportunity to reflect on our lives, right? So this being present is a huge, powerful conversation this year. The Top 5 Regrets by Bronnie Ware. Regret number 1. This is the top regret of the dying, according to Bronnie. I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. Regret number 1. I wish I'd been true to myself. This is what we are talking about every day here. Regret number 2 is I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Regret number 3 is I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Courage to express our feelings. Regret number 4 is I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends. And regret number 5 is I wish I had let myself be happier. I'll tell you right now, my regrets are going to be things I did, not that. The Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. New York Times best-selling book is described as having the life you want by being present to the life you have. having the life you want by being present to our own lives. And the message we're offered today, this day number 1973, is titled Spiritual Fishing. Spiritual fishing. Honesty is the net by which we fish the deep. Honesty is the net by which we fish the deep. Though we are taught to make plans and keep to them, and though we work our way through pre-designed courses of study to receive credentials and degrees, our attempts at real living don't happen this way. For me, finding where I fit in the world feels a lot like spiritual fishing. Take a pause here. What's that feel like coming in? Just that sentence, right? Finding where I fit in the world feels a lot like spiritual fishing. The vast, mysterious ocean of experience keeps calling. And whether it's by buckets of question or nets of honesty, I keep hauling up food from the days. I keep hauling in shells and pearls and seaweed from a common depth that no one can see. And then I spend time cleaning what I've found and hearing what it has to say. In this way, everyone alive must fish. And this requires stillness and patience and a willingness to drift. A willingness to drift. I love what this book is offering. I feel myself changing. Do you? In this way, everyone alive must fish, and this requires stillness and patience and a willingness to drift. Those three things, where are they? In our day-to-day lives, stillness, patience, willingness to drift. Come on. It requires this, for we never know where deep things live. Even our effort to know ourselves resembles this process. For much of who we are lives cleanly below the surface, and we each must be nourished from what lives below if we are to survive. Paradoxically, our essential feelings and personal truths live below like fish, not wanting to be caught. But spiritual fishing yields spiritual food. And the secret nourishment of eating what lives within us is that to eat what lives in our shell, we must open that shell. And eating what swims below our surface lets us see with the perspective of the deep. Breathe, let's breathe, let's breathe. This has to come in and make a little bit of sense at some level. So if we just pause and let that settle. So much information in these messages. Spiritual fishing yields spiritual food, and the secret nourishment of eating what lives within us is that to eat what lives in our shell, we must open that shell. And eating what swims below our surface lets us see with the perspective of the deep. In truth, every person I have ever loved and every path I have been called to has shown itself to me after fishing in the waters of my spirit, which entered deep enough is the ocean of all spirit. I believe we are all connected there. And only by this communion of bringing up and taking in what lives within us can we hope to uncover our common purpose of being. In committing to this honest practice, wisdom becomes that very good net of mindful heart through which we rinse and claim the smallest of shells, those hidden casings that hold both food and pearls. Take a couple breaths here. The meditative exercise that we're offered may be challenging depending where you're located. I like to use visualization a lot. Find a stretch of running water and walk along its bank till you are called by it. And then reach into its moving clearness as if it were your own soul, and fish with your open hand for what it wants to give you. Whether it's a stone or a branch or a shell or a piece of trash, whatever it is, bring it up and hold it fully in your hand. Now, meditate and work with this living symbol. Listen for what it knows and how it knows. And ask yourself, what nourishment is it offering you? I spend time cleaning what I've found and hearing what it has to say. Honesty is the net by which we fish the deep. The vast, mysterious ocean of experience keeps calling. And whether it's by buckets of question or nets of honesty, I keep hauling up food from the days. I spend time cleaning what I've found and hearing what it has to say. Every person I have ever loved and every path I have been called to has shown itself to me after fishing in the waters of my spirit. Which, if entered deep enough, is the ocean of all spirit. I believe we are all connected there, and only by this communion of bringing up and taking in what lives within us can we hope to uncover our common purpose of being. In committing to this honest practice, wisdom becomes that very good net of mindful heart through which we rinse and claim the smallest of shells, those hidden casings that hold both food and pearls. Honesty, truth. This message is just, they're talking about honesty. This honest practice, committing to this honest practice. Honesty is the net by which we fish the deep. Spiritual fishing. So the question is, what nourishment is it offering you? Meditate and work with this living symbol. Listen for what it knows and how it knows. What nourishment is it offering you? Thank you, Mark Nepo. Thank you, everybody, so much for your continued support and encouragement. And gratitude for sharing this space together. See you tomorrow. Namaste.